If you're like me and you are excited about the African tech ecosystem, these videos are specifically for you. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on social media so you get to catch up with some of the latest things that are happening in the continent, but also business cases on some of the best and most amazing African startups, or revolutionary African startups as we would call them. And this is one of those. So you know, or if you have ever wondered how a simple idea can grow into a massive success, then this particular one is for you. Consider this: Nigeria, like many African countries, required tremendous effort to save money. So millions struggle just to save money. But this is a space a company called PiggyVest turned a basic saving app onto one of Africa's most successful fintech companies. And I'm here to just give you a breakdown of their journey, how they started, what were some of their challenges, and how they now are processing billions of dollars on their platform. And trust me, this is not just about PiggyVest. And most of the business cases that I make is not really about those companies alone. It is all about what their success says about the future of the continent, but also, in this case, finance in the continent. So let's start with the basics. So PiggyVest was founded in 2016 by Piggy friends. I wonder how many of us have friends that we can start something as cool as PiggyVest with, right? Anyway, let's jump back into it. So in 2016, PiggyVest was founded by three friends: Odunayo, Joshua, and Somto. So back then, it wasn't even called PiggyVest, right? It was called piggybank.ng. So it was a simple platform designed to help Nigerians save small amounts of money regularly. So you remember those days of Esusu? Well, that's more like it, right? So fast forward today, and it has grown into a full-blown financial services platform offering savings, investment, and even bill payment. It has over 5 million users and processes billions, or sometimes I think trillions of naira, which is billion plus dollars every single year. So PiggyVest is a proof that solving real problems can lead to big success. But how did they get here? Come on, let's take a closer look. So from idea to profitability, let's go back to the beginning. So think about all of this started in 2016, the whole concept of Esusu. For those of you who don't know what Esusu is like the traditional of saving or community form of saving is in piggy banks, right? But then people will turn to actually take off some money back. So, but to understand PiggyVest beginnings, you need to really understand that context. So in 2016, this is just again adding to the context. In 2016, when the founders set off on their journey, only about 30 to 39% of Nigeria had access to formal banking services. Today, that number has doubled. But during that time, many people didn't trust banks, or they simply couldn't afford to save money in the banks because of how unpredictable life could be. But there was this age-old practice called Ajo, or like I said, Esusu. So people would pull money together and turns in collecting the lump sums. We have it in our country, Sierra Leone. I don't know what you're looking this for watching from. I don't know what the name is. But the founders saw an opportunity to modernize this idea. So they launched piggybank.ng in January 2016. And it was first launched as a web-based saving tool. Here's how it works. So users deposit money into a virtual piggy bank, and they could only withdraw it on specific dates like monthly or quarterly. This forced discipline. It helped people stick to their saving goals. Plus, here was the kicker, they offered interest rates, sometimes up to 10% annually, which was way better than what most banks were giving at the time, right? And here were the features that they introduced at launch. So you could choose daily, weekly, or even monthly saving plans. Your money was then locked for a set period to keep you from dipping into it. I mean, how many times you and I have thought about saving for that holiday or saving for that, we normally just go into it and then, out. But with piggybank.ng at the time, which was the name, you are set for a certain period of time before you're able to get access to the money. And then they end up paying you competitive interest rates. So it encourages you to keep on saving. So let's look at some of their pivots. So from 2017 to 2018, right? Things were going very well at this time, but the founders realized something. Not everyone wanted to lock up their money. Some users needed flexibility. They wanted to save, but still have access to their cash when emergency popped up. So in late 2017, they introduced what they call the Flex Naira. It's a cool name, actually, if you think about it. Flex Naira. Exciting. But this was a flexible savings account where you could actually save and withdraw anytime without any penalty. So it means that people for the first time can actually jump on the platform and, but also be able to withdraw money, especially for rainy day. But something exciting happened. That move opened the door to a whole new group of users, freelancers, entrepreneurs, and young professionals who needed liquidity but also want to actually save, which is cool. How now they make money? So here's the thing. PiggyVest didn't just sit on the money people save. They invested in low-risk financial products like treasury bills and bonds. They kept a portion of the returns as profit, which then helped them grow. By mid-2018, they had over 500,000 users and had processed over 100 million in savings. Just imagine that. Imagine going back to Ajo or Esusu. Do you think there is any one society or community that could pull off $100 million? Probably not. And this is why we need technology to modernize some of these thoughts, because we have some really amazing practices that technology can fuel. And this is one. And during that same period, they also went on to raise about more than $1 million in seed funding, which they then used to expand their team and improve their tech. Now, between 2019 to 2020, scaling and forming properly. So as more competitors, begin to market, if you're as cool as that, people are going to want to have a bite, and you can't really stop them, which is, great for them as a whole. So competitors start entering the market. PiggyVest then knew they had to stand out. So in 2019, they rebranded from piggybank.ng to PiggyVest to reflect their expanded offerings. So two big features came out during this time. Investify. These guys have really cool names, Flex Naira, and now Investify. These allow users to invest in government bonds and other low-risk securities directly through the app, which was amazing. And then they also have target savings. So this was a goal-based saving tools where you could set targets like buying a car or paying school fees and track your progress, or even taking, your girlfriend Valentine's, right? And you want to save money. They also added a bill payment feature so users could buy things like utility bills, airtime, and subscription directly from their savings. Amazing, brilliant idea. By 2020, they hit 2 million users and processed over $500 million in transactions. Think about it. Back from 2017 to 2018, 500,000, and by 2020, so within the space of 3 years, they more than double the user base, right? And here's the kicker. They became profitable. Now, profitability is such a big deal. It's a very hard thing to achieve, not only as a business, but especially as a tech business in Africa. And the reason why they did this is because their business model was lean, scalable, and they focused on keeping costs really, really low while retaining all the amazing users. So by 2021 to now, they started now to expand to other markets. So they realized that the Nigerian market in 2021 was getting crowded. So PiggyVest decided, you know what, it's time to move to Ghana. Not because they want to be the Ghanaian jollof, but because it was that makes a whole lot more sense to do at the time. So it marks their very first step outside Nigeria. And they also introduced some really cool new features. So dollar investment, which lets users save and invest in US dollars, which was a big deal for people worried about the Nigerians' currency losing value. But they also introduced joint savings, which is a feature that is really important. Think about it traditionally, or think about being able to save with your spouse or your family or your groups, or the share goals. But they also launched their referral program. If you know someone new, you'd get cash bonuses, and very common right now actually. So it was a smart way to grow really organically. But here is what really kept them profitable. Now they've expanded, operations obviously will be higher, but their technology was fully automated, which kept operational costs really low. And so over about 70% of their users back every single month, which meant consistent activity. They relied heavily on word of mouth referrals. So they were not spending a lot of money in customer acquisition, which is something that is very hard to do, especially in a market where you need to do a lot of education for you to be able to acquire customers. But they did it very smartly. So as of 2023, PiggyVest has over 4 million users and was processing over $1 billion. And today they are considered to be one of Africa's most profitable startups. Now, here's my happy place. What can we learn from PiggyVest and the founders and their amazing team that set out to modernize something that our fathers and our grandparents were known for? So if you're thinking about starting a business or scaling one, then here are some of the lessons that I really want you to think about when you listen or watch this video. Number one, listen to your users. Every pivot they made and every feature that they brought into the market addressed a clear needs, and in most cases even opened door to new customer base. And another thing, keep costs low. Now this is the tricky part, because it's very expensive, but understanding the art of keeping costs low through automation can actually help you get profitable very quickly. Also, be transparent. People trust platforms that are open about how they handle money, right? And that's how you get them to leverage word of mouth. That's how they become ambassadors for you. So features like joint savings and referrals help them grow naturally. Of course, it hasn't been all smooth for, PiggyVest. I don't think in the continent it has been, smooth. Some of the regular challenges are the very challenges were like regulation. The fintech space currently, especially the continent, is beginning to become a highly regulated space. And unfortunately, rules can change overnight. Cybersecurity. Handling large sums of money means that you are vulnerable to attacks. So there's a lot of news about a lot of companies out there, especially companies in the big four, that have been subject to cyber attacks. But then there's the currency issue. Dollar investment protects users from Nigeria's volatile currency, but it also exposes PiggyVest to risk. And of course, there is the competition. So a lot of competition started to come into the market, and this is where they were smart to start thinking about how do they differentiate themselves. At the end of the day, PiggyVest story isn't just about building a successful company. It's about showing what's possible in Africa. Think about this. Millions of people across the continent still don't have access to proper financial tools. Startups like PiggyVest are changing that. But what is even cool about what PiggyVest is doing is they recognize that we already have an established network of relationship in how we save money through Esusu or Agile, as it's called in some other places, and places would have their own term. But they saw that, they understood that, they modernized that, and they did that very well. And the best part is, this is just the beginning. Across Africa, we're seeing a wave of innovation in fintech. whether it's savings, investment, paying bills, or the usual money transfer and right from family back home. While PiggyVest may have started small, but their impact is huge. I mean, we all know that. So if you're looking at me speak to you, or you're listening, or you're thinking about building in the continent, the message is clear. The opportunities are endless. And who knows, maybe the next big idea will come from you. But instead of thinking about one space idea that nobody have thought about, why don't you look at some of the problems, or some of the problems for which our fathers or our mothers actually has some traditional approach to solving them, and figure out how you can modernize it, and maybe it will become the next PiggyVest. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or me on social media, and let's journey together.